The year is 2021 and we just got climbing confirmed for Hytale. What timeline is this? Hytale news. Hytale news. Hytale news. Hytale news. Hytale news. It's Hytale news time. What's up guys, it's been welcome back to another video. Recently, Riot just released Arcane and with it a massive press Twitch thingy full of Riot related and Arcane stuff. By the way, if you haven't watched Arcane and you have a Netflix account, watch it right now. It's one of the best shows I've ever seen. But enough about that, we're here to talk about Hytale. In this segment, they had a 6-minute piece on Hytale's development, the challenges, and it was mostly about Riot because it was a Riot related show. But they also, with it, they talked about the development and they showed a bunch of completely new, unseen Hytale gameplay. So without further ado, let's take a look at everything we see. In this segment, we get talks from Noxie and Sean McCafferty. Noxie talks about how Hypixel Studios, with Riot Games' help, went from an entirely stay-at-home studio to having a dedicated office space and many more developers. While Sean McCafferty talks about Hypixel the game and what we can expect, but he didn't really say anything we haven't heard before. What he said was we can expect a fantasy RPG style adventure modes, multiplayer with a variety of minigames, and modding tools to create entirely new experiences and game modes. This talk was really more of a marketing thing more than anything. It was just to show the right audience who would stay to watch the show more about Hytale and to build a little bit of hype. Although this was not a full-blown trailer, it just sort of proves that Hypixel Studios is still kind of working on stuff and trying to improve, which is exactly what they said in their latest blog post. Honestly, this little segment here was really interesting. I love what Noxie said about the improvements that Hypixel Studios has faced over the last couple of years, even way back before the trailer was ever announced, and his talks with Riot Games and the investment and all the stuff that happened then. This talk just had so much optimism and it makes me really hopeful for Hytale's future. It's awesome to see just how much Hypixel Studios is still putting into this game. I'm still really excited to see where it goes from there, even after it launches, what new stuff they will bring. But enough about all that stuff. We came here to watch some gameplay and see if we can spot anything new. And spot new stuff we did. Starting with the most obvious thing we can see in these gameplay videos, climbing. We have climbing. It looks like in this clip the character is actually climbing 4 blocks, which is insane. In Minecraft you typically would be only able to climb 1 unless you're on with ladders or vines for some reason. But here you can climb up to 4 blocks. That is crazy. It looks like this actually might lead somewhere into Hypixel Studios de-emphasizing building in combat. That's kind of a speculation, but I can see it honestly in a fantasy RPG. Why you would want to do that. You might add this mechanic to incentivize traversing without using blocks or without abusing anything that would be too overpowered. And I'm interested to see how they evolve this philosophy. I'm not going to try and go through every single piece of gameplay because there is a lot and most of them are identical pretty much to ones that we've already seen. But I will go through some of the outliers here. This is one of them. This is the first time we've seen a bird in proper flight in Hytale before. It looks really detailed. It looks like to be in the desert zone, and it looks to be kind of like an eagle type mob, which is really interesting. And as it flies, it goes into an overview of the desert zone. Now in the first few frames here, we can actually see an overview of what either might be a ruin or actually a player-built structure, although it does look more like a ruin with some of the tiled roofs lying on the floor. It looks quite bare, but there's some adventurers there already, so it might have been just freshly looted and ridden of mobs. But as we can see, as this bird moves forward, we get a glorious overview of Zone 2. And we can see in the distance what looks like to be the Mesa biome from a Minecraft looking kind of thing, but like a more hilly version of the version we have quite closer to the camera, which is full of skeletons and plants and some white-looking rocks, which might just be more bones. And in the distance, we can see quite a hilly version of that same biome. And looking around, we can see a few more little structures dotted around, as well as some caves and some arches. And in the very distance, we can see what looks like the massive desert pyramid from one of the concept arts. It looks like we can't really tell, but it does look like an even slope, and we can see all of the hills in this zone are actually quite jagged, but this one in the far distance is very smooth, so it might actually be a pyramid. And in front of it, we can see some it kind of looks like towers. That could be natural terrain generation, or that could be part of the structure. We don't know. It is quite far away and deep in fog, but it does look very interesting, whether that is a structure or not. We basically got all the postcards we've been missing in animated form. And as much as I'd love to go through that, I can't. This video will be half an hour long, like my last Hytale video was. Instead, I'm just going to go through some of the main things from all of them overall. So, first we have PvP. We got quite a lot of PvP here, but mostly in the form of this one, which looks like to be a recreation of Sky Wars in Hytale. It looks like a very Sky Warsy map. It's not like a Sky Wars map ripped straight from Minecraft like we saw in the announcement trailer, but it does look like a custom Sky Wars map for Hytale. And there's a lot of fog as well in this, which is really interesting. Like, even that house in the distance, which isn't too far away, is very, very foggy compared to Minecraft at least, which doesn't have any fog really to name. The interesting thing that strikes out here immediately in this bit is the fire. Look at the fire. No more Minecraft fire of a static image on one block. This is roaring. It's very big and very interesting looking. And they said before how they use like code and stuff, so the flames would be different each time. They probably did the same thing here. This might be like a particle system in Hytale, which would be really good for mappers and game developers of all types. But enough only about the fire. Let's have a look at the combat. So here it looks like we're having two characters. One of them has a big hammer and the other has short swords, or I think just like knives or daggers, or probably daggers or something like that. And it looks like they're fighting. One that looks like they have a higher tier armor of them. It doesn't look like a very fair fight, which makes sense because one gets knocked into the fire at the end. Yeah, the lower tier one gets knocked in the fire at the end. Oh well. But we do have a lot here. We did already see some of this combat. We actually haven't seen the daggers yet. Those are completely new weapons that we haven't seen before. But the hammer we're familiar with. We know from the other PvP showcase that we had. There was a big overarching throw, and you build up that ability by dealing damage. And this looks like that's exactly what we have here. But it looks like the daggers effect we can see once they're fully charged, their meters of course, is a short dash that ends in a stab. It looks like the daggers are going to be a very mobile type, so we might see different classes like a tank with, you know, high armor, high damage, low mobility, or classes that use the daggers like I don't know, a thief or something, some type of class. I don't really know classes. Just like something like that that is low health, medium damage but higher mobility and high damage potential. Maybe we'll see in Hytale, as is proven here, that different armor types have different weight values that might impact movement or movement abilities or stuff like that. But I guess we'll have to wait and see in-game how that pans out. Going through every little detail on every little bit of gameplay we got would be completely pointless because we've already seen so much of the game already. Although we haven't played it or seen anyone play it live, that's pretty much the only last thing we're waiting for at the moment. We have seen a lot, and going through it all over again for the millionth time is kind of pointless. So I'll end on this. Most games have their roots in mods of other games, but this one more than most. It was created from the ground up by modders, and it was funded by big people in order to get it off the ground. Otherwise, it wouldn't really be as big as it and as hyped as it is today. I'm sure that. And that is why I am hopeful for this game. I trust Riot and I trust Hypixel Studios with everything. They will make the perfect game. I know they will. It's literally nothing can go wrong. I'm gonna say it now because I know I'll be right. Nothing can go wrong unless it gets delayed again. Okay, I might put that barrier in front of me just in case something does go wrong. Unless it gets delayed again, which it might. That's 100% an opportunity that might happen. But I'm gonna hope it's not. I know this game will be good when it comes out because I trust Riot and I trust Hypixel. Modders have the most passion for their games. Modders literally make stuff for free for people to enjoy, and with that motive, you know, you're not gonna make a bad product for profit or any other reason. So I'm fully confident with Hypixel and everything they have. So on that note, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, leave a dislike if you didn't enjoy, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and thanks for watching. Tap out, peace, see ya.